What's poppin', y'all? I believe his name is Charles Barkley. Yeah, I believe he said we're gonna get swept by the Blazers.
They came there for cardio. They were already locked in.
He said cardio. What's poppin', y'all? This is episode 6? Yeah, episode 6. It's been a minute. I'm here again with my guy, Chibu.
We here, baby. We here.
And if you remember him, we had him from episode 1. He did a great job. Chibu, he knows his stats. He knows everything. First and foremost, I want to apologize. It's been a long time. Last episode was episode 5.5. That was like a month ago. But it's been a long, road, because quarantine, Corona, school. But we back, better than ever. Okay, so today we are gonna talk about something that's very much anticipated. I mean, I think y'all should know what I'm gonna talk about today. The main focus of this podcast is no shade or nothing, but the main focus of this podcast is to literally dissect the Los Angeles Clippers and why they lost last night.
Let's tell them how we got here, man. That's how I got here.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So before we even get to that point, we're gonna start with the whole playoffs on the Western Conference. So I'm gonna let Chibu say what he got to say real quick.
Well, how do we get here? July 30th, first game, right?
Yes, sir.
Anticipated LA Clippers versus Los Angeles Lakers. People didn't put much stock into it. People were rusty. Players were rusty. Overall, it was a good game. There was the NBA. They tried, man, with the bubble, the amenities. Overall, the product, the virtual fans was pretty creative. Just a product, just being a consumer as a fan watching from home. You'll feel like there's really nothing wrong. Fast forward, we had the Memphis Grizzlies losing almost every single game in the bubble and taking their 8th seed. The New Orleans Pelicans basically wasting everyone's time coming into the bubble. We thought they would make a push for the playoffs, and they did exact opposite. The Phoenix Suns, they got, Devin Booker, he's the one, bro. He's the one. DeAndre Ayton, he's the one. Monty, their new coach, Monty Williams, right?
Yeah.
Monty Williams. Yeah. They got a solid coach with them. They went 8-0 on the bubble. Unfortunately, they couldn't qualify for a play-in. But we had Damian Lillard, TJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic, them cats over there in Portland. They gave us a run, man. They really wanted it. They showed why they wanted to be in the bubble. And they did what they had to do. They made the playoffs. That's what they wanted to do. Carmelo Anthony still showed why he should be not only a player in this league, but a starter in this league, man.
And a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
For sure.
Daryl Morey's analytics ball, all that stuff that was happening in Houston, he was just a scapegoat. He did nothing wrong. He was actually hooping in Houston. They weren't winning games, and he was the scapegoat because he's a mid-range shooter, and Daryl Morey and his analytics, they don't like the mid-range, and they use him as a scapegoat, saying that he can't play, he can't gel, he can't mesh, he's not a team player, all that. He was literally begging for a job, had to go on first take, right? Beg for a job and show why he belongs in this league. Portland, they lost to the Lakers in 5. As expected. No one expected him to do much, but yeah.
No one expected him to do much? Because I remember half the population saying the Trailblazers are going to... Actually, a very famous man who once played for the Phoenix Suns, I believe his name is Charles Barkley. Yeah, I believe he said we're going to get swept by the Blazers. That didn't happen. So I think a lot of people just... Honestly, I think a lot of people watching this whole bubble, the whole NBA, and not really being realistic with themselves. You're not being realistic with yourselves. It's one of those things that It's fine. Like it's two different things. If you hate LeBron James or you hate the Lakers in general, you can hate the Lakers and still admit the fact that they're a good team. That's the problem here. A lot of people don't want to admit that the Lakers are literally a good team, which is a reason why we beat the Blazers. Like the fact that people would thought the Blazers were going to take us to either 7 games, or we're actually going to lose. Like the Lakers were actually going to lose to the Blazers was kind of disrespectful. Because like think about it, bro. Like you have LeBron James, 3-time MVP, 3-time NBA champion. Like he's a different caliber. Like he knows
Four-time
4-time MVP. Let me correct myself. My bad. 4-time MVP, 3-time NBA champion. He's been to the playoffs multiple times. He knows in and out of the playoffs. He knows like how to study teams. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker first of all, and it's like you have to respect that fact. First, you have to respect that fact alone that LeBron James on the Lakers. Then you have AD. AD is 6'10", but when you see AD playing on the court, like AD plays bigger than 6'10". Like he plays like a 7 foot. Like he plays the ball well. And then you have other role players on the team. Yes, in game one, KCP was struggling. So was Danny Green. But by game two, like the only way the Lakers are gonna lose to the Blazers is if literally LeBron and AD didn't show up. Then maybe, yeah, sure.
The lesson here, honestly, I'll hold off on the. I'll let my man Abe. He'll get the West, but let's go on to the East.
Yeah.
The Nets in Orlando, they came there for cardio. They were already locked in.
He said cardio.
The Wizards came in for cardio. They brought a whole bunch of G Leaguers. The Nets did their thing, man. They did their thing. Caris LeVert showed that next year he's going to be a bona fide third option. So now we're left with the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Heat, and the Celtics. We're here, man, and let the best team win.
Yes, sir. So my thing is, even talking about the East, if y'all watched, I believe, episode 5, which I did with Tobias, we talked in that episode, we said, Tobias specifically talked about Giannis and the Bucks. He talked about, Giannis, showing up and doing certain things. He also talked about Chris Middleton being a very good second man. But Giannis, like he needs to show up, he needs to do certain, he needs to take on certain roles for him to actually, for the Bucks to make it to the finals, if they're gonna make it to the finals, which they didn't, obviously they're eliminated. But Giannis did not show up the way he was supposed to. Like, I'm not gonna say Giannis was terrible the whole playoffs, but he wasn't playing at the caliber of like a superstar in a playoff
He won
series.
Defensive Player of the Year. He's most likely going to win MVP, and he didn't play as the best player in that series. I don't even think he played as the second best player in that series.
Probably not.
Point blank period. Jimmy Butler was the best player in that series.
I mean, that's not an argument. Jimmy Butler
Middleton was the best player in that series on your team. And that team had some holes, man. Like, it's not like he played okay. He played pretty bad. If you're a Defensive Player of the Year and you're going to win MVP, we expect certain things from you. And I don't even blame Giannis, bro. I'm not blaming Giannis. I'm blaming Mike Budenholzer, their head coach. You saw Toronto win 4 straight games on them, doing the same thing what Miami did, build a wall, and dare Giannis to make outside shots. And they're Chris Middleton and their supporting cast to basically spot the series for them, because that's not going to be a series that Giannis can dominate. And this man had all year, they're going through the motions, listening to the media's hype, saying that they're a team that can win almost 70 games, having an all-time great defense per analytics, having a very elite offense per analytics, while playing the Detroit Pistons, Cleveland Cavaliers, Charlotte Hornets 4 times a year, and getting inflated stats, making those analytics look like they're the Bible. And then you get where it's rough and rugged and gritty in the playoffs, and they're countering you with the same stuff that Toronto did last year, with building a wall and putting multiple big, stocky defenders on Giannis, clogging the paint, clustering it, double teaming him, triple teaming him, building a wall in the paint, and this man is turning the ball over, averaging almost 18 points a game in that series. Can't do anything. And Mike Budenholzer couldn't make no adjustments to get Giannis going.
Here's the thing.
Nothing.
Giannis in 2020 playoffs had about 26.7 or so points per game. In the first round, obviously the biggest shock was them losing to Magic in game one. But I mean, that wasn't a big deal because we were talking about also how the Bucks lost to Orlando Magic and also the Lakers lost to Trailblazers in game one. Giannis had 31 points in that game. He had about 20 rebounds or so, 17 or 20 rebounds. So he had a good performance that whole series. His points throughout that whole series: game one, 31, game two, 28, game three, 35, game four, 31, and in game five, in which they closed out the series, he had 28 points. So
series.
Yeah, the one series. So it's like, okay, that's good. Like, and in every of those series, like he had double-digit rebounds. Like he had 20 rebounds in game two. That's crazy. So he did what he had to do in that series. He showed up. He was good. Here's where things get fishy. In game one against the Heat, Giannis put up 18 points.
How many shots did he take?
I believe he took about 12 shots.
Right.
And he made 6 out of those 12. So 12 shots, 50%, 18 points. It's a 50% field goal percentage, 18 points, double-digit rebounds. You would say that's good. That's good basketball, yes, for a second option or for someone coming off the bench or a sixth man or something like that. But for Giannis, the MVP or soon-to-be MVP of the league, defensive player of the year, you should not be putting 18 points up against a team like Miami Heat when Jimmy Butler is putting up crazy points, playing defense, getting rebounds, getting steals. Like someone like Jimmy Butler, he's a well-rounded player. Yes, Jimmy Butler is not like super crazy off the three-point line, but he doesn't even need that. Like he has people like Dragic for that. He has people like Tyler Hero for that. Like they can shoot. His job is to literally facilitate that team, and he does it perfectly well. He scores when he needs to. He plays defense when he needs to. And that is what Giannis could have been throughout that series. He put up 18. Giannis' most points throughout that series is 29 points, which is not bad, but that's one game as opposed to having.
The Milwaukee's problem is, see, I'm not a hater on analytics, but I'm someone that takes analytics with a grain of salt. Like it has to, like analytics, they tell you a lot, like they break it down in a mathematical way, scientific way, but it definitely needs to be backed up with the eye test.
Yeah.
You look at these, like you see a team that may play you, let's say for example, you get the Clippers or you get the Lakers in a regular season game in Milwaukee in the middle of November. Chances are they were on a long road trip in the East, and you're probably one of their last stops, right? No team is gonna game plan for you when they're playing Detroit Pistons the next day, or they have to fly back to LA and play Golden State or something like that, right? Like there's a difference with an 82 game player that's a regular season kind of player and a player built to win 16 games to win a championship. They brought all these cats. George Hill that played with LeBron, he missed the clutch free throw that would have won in game one in 2018. Like they're bringing all these suckers that haven't done anything. Kyle Korver, Marvin Williams that hasn't won anything. If you haven't won anything, you're basing it off analytics and what you see in the regular season.
Trying to throw them
and all that stuff is just masking your real problem, which is that Giannis needs his 1B, not necessarily his number 2. He needs his 1B. He needs his Kobe to his Shaq.
Now, backing up what you just said right now, I have this theory in the league, and it's not just the NBA. At least for me, I believe the NBA, the NFL, soccer, at least those 3 sports, especially the NBA and the NFL. Every single team needs a Batman and a Robin to succeed, to make it to the playoffs, to have good winning percentage. And it's very important that in every game, especially in the playoffs, that both Batman and Robin show up. Not just Batman or not just Robin. For example, the Clippers, Batman, Kawhi, Robin, Paul George. The Lakers, you can say Batman, LeBron, Robin, AD. The Bucks, Batman, Giannis, Robin, Chris Middleton. They both need to show up. You can see even in the games that LeBron shows up, he gets his assists, he gets his defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, he does everything. But if AD's not showing up, it's not really that good because Batman and Robin are not playing at the same time. Like literally, the series Batman and Robin, they both fight crime together. You know, they work together in order to stop crime. Whenever someone's checked out, it doesn't work out. Same thing in basketball. If your one B or your number two is not showing up, you can't like you literally you can't win games in the playoffs. Like one person cannot show up, which explains the fact going back to the West, which explains the fact why Harden and the Houston Rockets got sent home because you would see if you notice in the playoffs with the Rockets versus Lakers, what happened was Harden would show up, Westbrook wouldn't show up, Westbrook would show up, Harden wouldn't show up. Coupled with the fact that they do not have big men to rebound the ball. Like I need you to understand, like this is the wildest fact. Like in game five, when they got sent home, I believe at halftime or something like that, Lakers had 36 rebounds and Houston had like 15.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Talking about the Houston Rockets, man. Hey, where do they go from here, bro? Like I don't know where they go from here.
I mean their coach is not coming back.
Like
So
that's not even a problem. It's not even, I don't even think D'Antoni's a problem. You got the big problem is the one who kept his job. Daryl Morey, their general manager, who is the heavy analytic,
yes.
and you traded all your assets for a superstar Russell Westbrook, who has probably the worst contract in the NBA right now. Probably the highest paid player right now. You know, he won MVP, got that super max, right? Making almost 42 mil, probably 43 mil next year. And I think his last year's like 47 mil. A superstar that can't shoot. He's pretty much not aging well. His athleticism is declining. All that. Terrible decision maker. Energizing bunny. He's a competitor. We all know that. Traded all your picks, all your assets, went all in. Then Tony's gone. Now you need to fill the void and revamp your team because obviously small ball is not going to work and not going to win a championship.
No, it's not. It's not gonna work.
It's not going to win a championship. But now you need to find a head coach who's going to buy into analytics ball because I don't know many coaches looking for jobs right now who are the potential candidates. I heard Tyronn Lue. So even said Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell used to play for the Rockets. Those are the two kind of floating around.
I actually heard a very wild prediction. I heard something about what's his name. I don't think this is possible. This is going to be real, but I heard about Doc Rivers might be an option. But I mean, I don't think that's realistic.
He's not leaving. He's not leaving.
Yeah, I don't really think that's realistic.
He's not leaving LA. But where I think they should go, bro, I honestly think that team needs to be blown up, bro.
Let me tell you what I think about the Rockets.
Like trade everybody. That's what I personally think. I don't think they are. They're gonna run it back. They're gonna keep probably like Covington. They're gonna try to use Gordon and all these other people as trade bait. They're probably gonna try to get a stretch five and go from there or something like that.
Here's the thing about the Rockets, and here's the problem. The Rockets are in a sense in the same shoes as the Clippers, but not exactly. The thing with the Rockets is when they let go of
Chris Paul.
No, when they let go of Chris Paul and Clint Capella, right? You know, they let go of Chris Paul and they traded a bunch of first round picks to OKC, which OKC in the next about 5-6 years could possibly build a dynasty over there with all those first round picks. First of all, when they traded Chris Paul over there and they got Westbrook and then they let go of Capella and he went to Atlanta, they believed they had a perfect team. They believed that they could do what the Warriors did back in 2016, 2017, I believe, when they played small ball and, you know, they dominated the league. The thing about small ball is if you're going to play small ball, you have to understand that you're probably going to be at a disadvantage on rebounds and probably some things like blocks in a sense. So you have to make up for those by literally always scoring. Like you can't waste any scoring drives. That's why the Warriors are so good. They have Clay and Curry who can shoot threes from anywhere.
Think about that also. You're trying to do small ball. Difference, right? When the Warriors were doing it, they were like, what did they call it? Their death lineup with Steph, Clay, Iggy. Uh, it started off with Harrison Barnes and then Draymond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when KD came, it was KD, Draymond, Steph, Clay, Iggy, their best five, Hampton five. When they played small ball, they were the best at it. Like no one can match up with them almost in any position. And Draymond was the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Right? He was a five. He's an undersized five, but he's an elite defender. Iguodala, elite defender. Klay Thompson, elite perimeter defender. Right? Also getting you a bucket on both ends. Other than Draymond his last several years, like that Iggy can spot up and all those things. He won Finals MVP because of his defense, but was also hitting some big time shots. On the other hand, you have the Houston Rockets, who were lacking size. Their center was a 6'5", PJ Tucker.
6'7".
Westbrook is a dynamite. He's a dynamo. They have James Harden, who for some reason does not know how to play off ball. Westbrook cannot shoot the ball. You put in Eric Gordon, who sometimes gets shots, sometimes who doesn't. You put in the Dollar Man, the Dollar General version of LeBron James and Jeff Green, who's very inconsistent.
And you put the one guy who doesn't know how to play basketball in Austin Rivers.
So like if they ran small ball, you arguably had a couple teams who could say like they run small ball better than the Boston Celtics, LA Clippers, and then what we saw from Frank Vogel's adjustment is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
When their small ball is not necessarily small ball because they are big. LeBron James is 6'9", 80s is 6'10", 6'11", Markieff Morris is 6'9", and then you have all the other parts, and when Braun is at the 4 and 80's at the 5, I don't see anyone outmatching that kind of small ball.
Hey, Chibu, can I say something brutally honest? Like, all respect to James Harden, great player, love him. He doesn't want smoke. Like, you can literally see it on his face. It wasn't just from the Lakers. Like, when he played OKC, like, dude, the funniest clip, I mean, you saw like, it became a whole meme where Chris Paul was literally staring at him doing a free throw. And he was like literally staring at him. And James Harden was just like, if you, like, you can tell how James Harden is going to play based on his facial expression. He can't hide it.
That man,
he cannot hide it, like, literally.
I think that's just his demeanor.
I don't know, Chibu.
That game 7 against OKC, if he didn't block Dort's shot, it was going to be pretty bad for him. He didn't play so bad, but in the first round. But this whole playoffs to me, when you're considered a superstar, you're considered MVP. You won MVP, and you have 2 MVPs on your team. I don't care if you think the Lakers are better. Obviously, I thought the Lakers were better. I feel like I personally said all year they're going to win it all. You have 2 MVPs on your team. You're expected to win a ring. You're expected to compete. That first game was an anomaly. I actually thought the Rockets were going to get swept, even though they should compete. I thought they were going to get swept. Some people thought they were having 6. I thought it was not going to go more than 5, honestly, from the jump. LeBron and Anthony Davis are the 2 best players in the playoffs. We're seeing it. Anthony Davis is a generational talent. LeBron James is the top 2 player of all time. Like, what they're doing is so special, and I don't see anyone thinking that they can beat the Lakers. I don't see anyone beating the Lakers 4 times. I don't see how you can get 4 wins on LeBron's head. One thing we saw in that series, playoff Rondo was real. I was wrong. Playoff Rondo.
No. I'm gonna admit that for sure. Playoff Rondo is real.
Frank Vogel made us look like a fool. Also, I was wrong about Frank Vogel. I thought he was stubborn. Forever going to use that 2 big lineup, but he was able to make adjustments. And that adjustment after game 1, when we saw that there's no spacing, Dwight Howard could not play in that series. He's still a solid center, best backup center to me in the league. Arguably him or Jared Allen. JaVale McGee was actually better than him in that series. He twisted his ankle, which forced us to go full off small ball, and that's how we got rid of them, blowing them out almost every other game. Showed me that Frank Vogel was ready to make adjustments. Well, showed me that the Lakers have something that every championship team had: their ability to play in different styles. They want to play big, they can play big. They want to play small, they can play small. Their super small lineup was or not their super small lineup, but their actual small ball lineup was Marquise at the 5, LeBron at the 4, or was it Kuz at the 4, Ron at the 3, Caruso, and another guard, whatever that is. But the 4-5 combo of Braun and Keith. And then they had the ability to play two bigs, Anthony Davis and whoever center. The ability to play one true big, if you don't want to call Anthony Davis a big, and JaVale McGee and Dwight, right? They serve as combined as a one center. So the Lakers have so many different ways to play. It's going to be important for their matchup. Their matchup against the Houston Rockets, they had to play small ball. Their matchup against the Nuggets, however, they're going to have to play big. Jokic is a big guy, so they're probably going to go back to their two big lineup. You're going to see a lot more action, Dwight and JaVale. They have probably the two smartest players in the NBA, and Braun and Rondo. Arguably one of the best defensive-minded coaches in the NBA, Frank Vogel. So you know they're going to come up with a scheme to stop this two-man game of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Gonna have their hands full.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's backtrack real quick. We're gonna go back. We're gonna literally break down the playoffs. We're gonna go back from literally the first round. The first round of the playoffs in the West. Okay, so first round of the playoffs, you have the Trailblazers playing the Lakers. I believe you have the Mavs playing the Clippers, correct? You have OKC playing Houston, and you have the Jazz playing the Nuggets. With the Denver Nuggets and the Jazz, it was one of those games that, despite the rating of the Jazz, you knew they were a good team regardless. Like they had Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, they have Mike Conley, they have people like that on the team, and you expect them to give the Nuggets like a battle, which they did. So I'm not going to go deep into that one. There's nothing surprising about that. It was a great showdown though, because Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray were just going at it, and that was beautiful. With the Clippers and the Mavs, honestly, the Clippers already questioned when to let the Mavs win 2 games. Then again, Luka is arguably though, if Porzingis did not get hurt in that series, who knew if the Clippers could have got sent home in the first round? I'm not saying they would have, but they could have.
Look, that first round matchup, you saw that the Clippers there. I mean, it's been their weakness all season. I've been saying it all season. Their greatest weakness was rim protection and playmaking. And that Dallas series, basically Luka was a one-man band. And you saw that their weakness was what? Rim protection. And also, they were getting torched by Luka's playmaking. He was scoring buckets, but his playmaking was torching him. Anytime that Montrezl Harrell was in the game, Rick Carlisle, to me, he's the top 5 coach, will put, what's his name? Marijuanovic in the game. That 7'6" dude. And Marijuanovic was spotting point. Trez was spotting points for Clippers. They're always blowing leads when that happened.
Happy guy, by the way. Pretty cool guy.
Lou Will couldn't find his groove. Paul George had some clunkers. Kawhi pretty much carried them through that series. That's pretty much what happened. Overall, with Porzingis getting hurt, who knows what would have happened. That's probably arguably a 7-game series. That was probably going to tip the scale.
It could have. So my thing with that round is like you think about it, if Porzingis didn't get hurt, who knew what could happen? But first of all, the Clippers Mavs series, okay, the Mavs stole 2 games. We'll give it to the Clippers. They closed it out game 6. That's fine. And then you come down to the 2 biggest games of that first round was Lakers versus Trailblazers and OKC versus Houston for 2 different reasons. First reason, Lakers versus Portland. Dame, Dollar Dame. He does what he has to do. He's shooting shots from half court, shooting shots from everywhere. He's dunking on people, making layups and all that stuff. I respect him. I said yesterday that Damian Lillard is literally my favorite point guard. Currently, right now, he is right now my favorite point guard, especially because of that tweet he made yesterday. But he showed up game one. Dame scored about 34 points. He did what he had to do, and they won that first game. After that first win, you had people going crazy all over America, all over the world, saying the Lakers were gonna get
You're
upset.
hearing the worst takes, bro. Like you're hearing that Braun doesn't have it anymore.
Wow, like you were hearing everything.
Braun isn't a thing.
You were also hearing that AD
What?
wasn't showing up. He didn't have what it takes.
I mean, let's call a spade, man. Like Braun is one of my two favorite players. Dwayne Wade and him. I think Braun is the GOAT, though. So if he's my GOAT, bro, like you gotta hold him to that GOAT standard. I didn't want to see. He had like he had a stat that never happened before, but that's not gonna cut. I don't care, bro. The Lakers lost the game. Like we know that when Braun is a playoff guru for a reason because he stops all that passive stuff and becomes super aggressive in the playoffs. I said after that game, after that 23-15 game, that he needs to cut his assists in half and at least have 30 points. Second game, even though he only scored 10 points in that second game, I thought he was really, really effective. Like, that's one thing I like about Braun. That man can affect the game in so many ways.
But like everybody needs to realize, which also makes me notice that a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to the game that LeBron plays. LeBron, believe it or not, LeBron is literally pass first, score later. Like that's LeBron. He scores a lot of points in different games, but like LeBron is a playmaker first before he is a scorer. And you have to understand that LeBron can score 10, 12, 15 points in a game and still win by a landslide. Why? Because he's facilitating everybody else around him. Now with the Lakers, it might be more harder because they don't have, they don't have like sometimes some players show up and they don't. But look at the times that KCP and Danny Green were making their threes crazy. He was facilitating those shots for them, most likely LeBron, because that's what he does. He's literally a playmaker. So like even if LeBron puts up 15 points or 10 points in a game, he's probably still gonna win. Why? Because check his assists, check him setting up like playmaking skills. Look at him passing the ball. Look at him literally facilitating the whole court. That's what you need, and that's what LeBron is doing right now. Which makes him literally one of the best players of all time. Which makes him the best player in the league right now because he's at 35. He's athletic. He can still score. He chooses not to score because think about it, LeBron can drop 50 points like almost every game during the playoffs. Maybe it's a little bit. Maybe I'm overreacting, but LeBron can score. He can average 30 throughout the playoffs.
I mean, he can definitely get 30 if he wants. If his shot is falling that night, he might be going for 40. But when you have a dominant player like Anthony Davis, that's probably why you're not seeing these 40-point games. Yeah. But if his shot is falling on a given night, assuming he didn't have a generational talent like Anthony Davis in the playoffs, he'd be dropping 40 easily. Saw the adjustments Portland try to make after that first game. They tried to run the same lineup back out in that second game. Got dominated. LeBron was effective. Anthony Davis was a beast. Our bigs played a lot better, but we still weren't shooting well. Portland lost the rebound battle, right? Portland lost the rebound battle game 2.
Yeah.
They tried to start game 3 with 2 bigs, and Nurkic and Whiteside and run a shell zone on the Lakers, forced them to shoot. Obviously, that shell zone didn't work because Anthony Davis is just different, bro. He made those 2 bigs look like they don't even belong in the league when they were kind of tearing up those seeding games. Game 4, they tried to run the same shell zone, didn't work. Game 5, I think they tried to run the same 2 big lineup, and we're running shell zone. That didn't work without Damian Lillard trying to run the 3-guard lineup. None of that worked. They were out as they should have been. Lakers are just clearly the better team. Blazers had no defense. Like, I don't know what you think was going to happen. Clippers, um, Clippers second round. Let's talk about Clippers second round, bro.
Okay. That's literally the best part of this whole podcast.
This is where we need to go, bro.
Okay.
I'm tired of talking about all this stuff that
so
was inevitable, man. Let's get
okay. We move from the first round. You know, Trailblazers lost in 5. As y'all, I don't know what you were thinking. You know, we go to the second round. Lakers play Houston, right? Everyone literally expected. Everyone literally said that Houston had the better chance of beating the Lakers because they're such a good 3-point shooting team. Here's the problem with 3-point shooting: if you're not making those threes, it's not counting as points. So I don't know what your points were. Like y'all literally, they were not scoring. Like throughout that whole series, apart from game 1, they literally struggled to shoot from the 3. And then Harden wasn't showing up if Westbrook did, and then Westbrook wasn't showing up if Harden did. So that was the whole problem. Lakers took the game. Now, Lakers have been resting this whole time as the Clippers continue to struggle with the Nuggets. Yes, they're 3 seed, but like if you're looking through the eye test or like through big names, look at the Clippers. Like I said in the last episode 5, I literally said I told y'all, I said the Nuggets are a team that if you let them slide, they're going to beat you, and they did. They literally did.
Hey, what I think you're saying since the beginning of the year. Clippers have a Lou Williams problem. Clippers have a Lou Williams problem, bro. Like, don't let this regular season, these 6 men of the year. You know, this is why I hate award politics, bro. Because some of these players should not be playing in the playoffs.
It doesn't really count because think about
he has a track record, bro. Like, look, the history of the league has shown us, except minus the anomalies of Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson, right? The history of the league has shown us that small guards do not succeed in the playoffs. They don't have the success in the playoffs. I'm not saying that Lou Williams is a star in this league. He's a star 6 man, but his track record in the playoffs has never been great.
It hasn't.
Like, I don't understand how in the playoffs he's not playing 10th man on the bench, 11th man on the bench rotations anymore. This is not the regular season, bro. Like teams have shortened their rotations to 7, 8, maybe 9 men, right? The 9 best men, they're playing these guys. And Lou Williams has been seen. They've been picking on him, putting him in pick and roll, putting him in different kind of actions. He's been worn out, has no touch. And if he doesn't have offense, this man is such a liability on defense that him on the floor, he's not giving you anything. That game 6 against Denver, they spotted him so many points, putting Doc Rivers had Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, another undersized big who's not a rim protector, who cannot play, doesn't have an inch of interior defense in his game, and he had the audacity to call himself the modern day Dennis Rodman. Has no interior defense in his game, and they're in that 2-man game with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. They put Lou Williams and Trez in so many pick and roll actions. Like, it was actually very sad to watch. And Kawhi Leonard, silent assassin.
Hey,
the one that's won 2 MVPs.
So I heard something earlier today, which made sense to me because you don't think about it, but you need to understand that Kawhi Leonard's whole career.
I'm opening up his path, bro.
But Kawhi Leonard's whole career has been put in perfect situations. Someone said that earlier today,
yes,
and it made so much sense. Because think about it, like with the Spurs, like everyone, like what pisses me off is when it comes to the Spurs, a lot of people try to argue the fact that the Spurs they didn't really have stars, they had a good coach. They had Tim Duncan, they had Tony Parker, they had Kawhi Leonard, they had Ginobili coming off the bench. Ginobili coming off the bench is literally crazy. Like Ginobili can easily start on any other team, but because of the kind of game the Pop was running, he bounced out his whole court.
Kawhi Leonard came into a culture, already a championship culture. He was doctored in. Mad respect to that guy, man. He came in as just going to be a key rotational piece. They're like, whatever, scouting him out from San Diego State. They liked his long athletic frame. They knew he was going to be a great defender. But guy worked his tail off, man. We gotta give him the hats off. He worked his tail off into a very good, very good offensive player as well as a very elite defender. But like you said, hey, he's been in perfect situations his whole career. Drafted by San Antonio Spurs, arguably one of the greatest 3-4 coaches that ever coached the game, and Greg Popovich.
Easily.
He was surrounded by Hall of Famers, surrounded by already a winning culture. Before he came, they already won 4 rings without him, right? He came in
to the Raptors.
First year that they were in the finals. Don't forget, Game 6, they had a chance to win the finals. This man chokes the free throw.
He does.
Chokes the free throw. People don't want to hold that against him because he was a puppy, but he choked the free throw, man. I don't care. You don't have to be a puppy to choke a free throw they already brought the
free throws
yellow ropes around, man. I was a Miami Heat fan, already distraught. I'm a Miami Heat fan, true and true, die hard. Already distraught. Saw that man choke the free throw, and I was like, all right, we have life, right? Fast forward, 2015. 2014, he won the Finals MVP. Dwayne Wade and his bad knees. Chris Bosh was absent. Bron's by himself. Held Bron to below average field goal percentage, although he had 28 on 50% shooting in that finals by himself. 2015, coming off the Finals MVP, they were favored to go back to the finals. Remember, Cleveland built their team to beat the Spurs. They weren't even thinking about Golden State in the picture. Yeah. They traded Kevin Love to counter the Tim Duncan, all that kind of stuff. Fast forward, they get knocked down in the first round by Clippers, right?
Which was
Let's go to the next year, 2016. It gets so overshadowed because the Warriors won 73 games that year. The Spurs won 67 games. Kawhi Leonard was the defensive player of the year and also second in MVP voting, right? They're overwhelming favorites to win that series against OKC, right? Yeah. They were up already 2-1. This man let Kevin Durant average 35 on his head tops, and they won 3 straight. Ready choke. I'm just showing you the history that is overshadowed because he was on the Spurs in a good situation.
Yeah.
People weren't seeing him as, like top dog. Like, bro, we always knew Bron, Durant, Curry. That was like the elite bunch. Yeah. But people were throwing his name in there. But, he's quiet, all those kind of things. They love that. 2017, Zaza Pachulia stuff happened. He was having a good playoffs. Zaza Pachulia messed up his ankle. He was out. 2018, quad injury. 2018-2019 season, he forces his way out of San Antonio. He lands in Toronto with a great first-year head coach in Nick Nurse, a team that already won. That was already the 1 seed. They got swept by LeBron last year, obviously because he's LeBron. LeBron left the East. They came with already a winning team. They just plugged them in. KD was hurt. If KD didn't tear his Achilles, KD came back in that series and was on one leg and was busting that man before towards.
Don't get me wrong, though. Thank you, Kawhi, for winning that finals. I did not want to see the Warriors win again.
And I didn't want to see it. Klay Thompson, Game 6, Klay Thompson is one of the best players that has ever played this game. He was ready to light him up. And Klay Thompson didn't go down. We'll see in the Game 7. And who knows? Because Kawhi Leonard was not having a good Game 6. Kyle Lowry was the one that really saved him that Game 6. Right? He was the one that was the best player on the court in that Game 6. So he was in a really great position. Won the finals. Time final MVP, rightfully deserved. First, as far as I know, one of the very few that's won final MVP in both conferences, all that stuff. Free agent. Toronto was willing to give him a whole of Canada to come back. Obviously, LeBron and AD wanted to form a super team with him. But he wanted to make his own power move. People should not sleep, bro. Not sleep. He had a power play in mind. He was like, nah, bro, I'm not joining you. Like, I'm coming to your arena and I want to beat you. This is my set. First game, Clippers versus LA. He had that New Balance commercial. He had that little crown thing. Saying this is my city, this is my town. They had all those slogans. They're trying to build themselves as this blue collar team, this grit grind team like the old Memphis in the mid 2000s, 2010s, grind like we're dogs, all this kind of stuff. You're dogs, and you let Nikola Jokic in Game 7 get 22 rebounds.
Nikola Jokic,
that man has a 3-inch vertical, bro.
He cannot do a windmill to save his life.
That man has a 3-inch vertical, bro. And he had 22 rebounds. There was a report that came out saying that Doc Rivers said that the Clippers players were too tired and they were asking for a little break in the fourth quarter. They were gassed, bro. How are you a dog and you don't want as hard as a 7 foot, 300-pound white man that has a 3-inch vertical?
Bro, look at this. First of all, you're in a Game 7 of the Western of literally in the Western Conference,
the
semifinals. Nobody wants to hear that ish, but no one wants to hear that you're tired. You're getting paid to play this game. You're in Game 7, win or go home. You being tired has no one cares about that. You have to literally play the game.
I was telling my boy today that Clippers not winning. I never had them coming out the West, bro.
I never had them in the first place.
I had them losing in the second round. I thought, maybe we will get Lakers Clippers. Because look, me and A, we're meant to record this podcast 4 or 5 days ago, bro. 4 or 5 days ago, the Clippers already up 3-1 on the Nuggets. We're like, all right, we're about to start this Western Conference Final preview. Battle of LA. Let's get it. We're watching game 5, and it was damn near over. Then Nuggets won. All right. Game 6.
Nuggets won.
Game 6. It was on Sunday, right? We're meant to record that Sunday, and I told Abe, let's move it. I just had a funny feeling, bro.
Mind you, I was already, getting prepared, getting topics ready, everything. Okay, we're gonna hit this podcast tomorrow. Chico hits me up talking about let's wait till Wednesday because literally of y'all's Clippers who don't know how to play basketball, obviously from what we saw last night.
You could just see it, bro. I thought they trick y'all, man. They trick y'all. Kawhi Leonard, this was the first time people were like, bro, okay, those final MVPs, you deserve all those accolades. But now it's bro, you want to be in a conversation with LeBron. They're trying to tell me
gotta expose.
They're trying to tell me this man was better than LeBron. They're trying to tell me this man was better than KD. You want to be in a conversation with them? It's a Game 7 now. You're about to blow a 3-1 lead. What are you gonna do, bro? I don't know if it was your knees that are deteriorating, bro.
But no, there's no excuse. 6 for 22. 6 for 22.
I mean, it was inevitable. Paul George was not.
I don't want to hear it.
Paul George is not going to show up in the Game 7.
No, I'm not talking about Paul George.
I know.
6 for 22.
I know. Once I saw Paul George had 30 points. Once I saw Paul George had 30 points in Game 6, I was like, GG's, man. He's not going to show up. You know how inconsistent that man is. I was getting ready to come on this podcast, talk LA Clippers, LA. And I was going to make a couple of y'all mad and say, because I had the Lakers in 5. Abe knew my stance. I said the Lakers in 5 because I knew how inconsistent Paul George was. Lou Williams would be played off the court, and Anthony Davis was going to smoke Montrezl Harrell. Y'all thought Montrezl Harrell was the modern-day Dennis Rodman. Y'all saw what Nikola Jokic was doing to that man. You can imagine what Anthony Davis would do to that guy. So, I mean, even though I wanted LeBron to be the one to take him out, it just showed me, the better team won.
Bro,
better team won.
Another thing with the Clippers is, it low-key feels like they have a curse. Because, I mean, the Clippers were literally the laughing stock of the NBA until about 2011. 2011-2012 season, they got Chris Paul, I believe they did draft Blake Griffin. I believe so.
Yeah.
They got Blake Griffin. They got DeAndre Jordan. You had people like throughout those years, the Lob City years, you had people like JJ Redick. You had Matt Barnes. People over there who could literally win a championship. The Clippers had a team that could have easily won a championship. They were called Lob City. Everything. They had what they needed to play great basketball. In 2012 playoffs, they lose. 2013, they lose. 2014, they lose. 2015, they literally kept losing.
They have the all-time choker coach, most overrated man. He's a great man. Doc Rivers, great man, great guy. I love his representation. Great leader. But as a coach, bro, he's always been wildly overrated. He's blown 3-1 leads. Orlando and 2 of the Clippers. He's blown a couple 3-2 leads with the Celtics. This man just does not know how to execute. I don't know if his voice just gets drained out.
That's so funny.
But another thing, man, like having a superstar. I don't know personally know Kawhi. His teammates can attest, but when your superstar, your best player is known as being mute, and he can't cuss y'all out. This is what happens. You let people like Pat Bev and all this that haven't won a damn thing, that haven't even don't even know how to win. Paul George doesn't even know how to win. Like people that don't know how to win, be over cocky. They didn't build. Look, this was so great for the league because it shows you that you cannot cheat the process. This is showing little kids, bro.
You gotta build your way up.
Like you need chemistry. Like there's a certain way there's baby steps to reach the goal. You cannot run before you crawl. You cannot run before you walk. Like you need to get somewhere. They thought they can load manage and plug in these superstars because NBA 2K say that you can do that and simulate a season and they win a championship. It doesn't work like that. Like people are really talking about LeBron. Why wasn't he load managing? Who are we to tell someone that went to 8 straight finals?
Bro, listen.
How to win?
Bro, here's another thing. No stats. Like literally, I'm not pulling up stats or anything like pulling out from the book. First of all, you have Pat Beverly telling Steph Curry that, oh, this last 4 years was yours, next is mine, right? He does that. Now, high expectations. He comes into the league. He talks all that mess to every point guard, anyone who's guarding him, really, or anyone he's guarding. You know, he's trying to fake to us that he's the best defensive point guard in the league right now. You know, talking trash, playing defense, all that stuff. He gets hurt. All blase, all that happens, right? You talk all that, then you get into the bubble and into like right before the playoffs, Dame misses 2 free throws. Then you and your buddy over there, Morris, are out here making fun of a really good point guard who, in like being realistic, very realistic, Damian Lillard is way better than Patrick Beverly. Like they're not on the same level. But you know, you make fun of talent like that. Listen, it's only gonna come back and catch up with you. You can't talk the talk and not walk the walk. It doesn't work like that.
Bro,
in sports.
It's people
it doesn't.
They were compared to the '96 Bulls in the beginning of the season. You had people on ESPN, Fox Sports making a fool of themselves, saying who's gonna guard these guys and who's gonna score on these guys. All that low management stuff, bro. And just watching their games, bro, I was like, bro, like there's a reason they're still losing games. There's a reason that even though that they're second in the West, like there's a reason that they weren't first.
Yeah.
There's a reason that some of these things happen. Like look at they went all in, bro. Like they went all in. I don't know where they go from here. One thing that they definitely need is a playmaker, a point guard. Kawhi Leonard is most effective when he has someone that can set him up and play make for others. Kawhi can just go in there as an assassin, get to his spots. But Doc Rivers was using him as a point forward. He's not a point forward. He's an average. He used to be a bad playmaker for others, but he's now an average playmaker. He's improved. Paul George is not a point forward. Lou Williams is not a playmaker for others. He's a scorer. These are bucket getters that are pretty much one-dimensional other than Paul George. Regular season Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's a good player. I don't know where to go from here, man. I don't think they should bring back Montrezl Harrell. I think they should find a way to trade Lou Williams because these award politics mess up people, man. Like you should not feel uncomfortable in benching Lou Williams or Montrezl Harrell in a series where he cannot flat out play. But since Montrezl Harrell was the 6th man of the year, how do you bench someone that you've been boasting about? Lou Williams said, has there ever been a team with 2 superstars and 4 people that can, the score was 18 plus, something like that, right? You had them talking all the talk. Jared Dudley was just minding his business, talking about the concern about soft tissue injuries in the bubble because they haven't played in 4 or 5 months. This man Pat Bev said they don't want to hear none of that ish. That basketball's a year-round sport. Check ball, right? Okay, they check ball. Someone's in the Western Conference Finals. The Nuggets and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Y'all are back home with me watching it on the couch, right? Y'all can't do anything. Y'all didn't know how to win. Y'all blew a 3-1 lead in dramatic fashion. That was probably the worst blown 3-1 lead I've seen. That's worse than, even though the Warriors had expectations once every 3 games. They're playing LeBron, bro. Like that's one of the best players ever. Like and that was in the finals. At least they made it to the dance. Clippers couldn't make it out the second round, right? They're already up 3-1. They're legit gonna go home. They're gonna have it in 5 and blew it. And your best player, Kawhi, wasn't even the second best player on the floor.
Bro.
And you can make an argument that he wasn't even the best player in that series for his team. Paul George, even though he had a clunker, Paul George was pretty consistent.
Bro, my only
Kawhi Leonard is the reason they lost that series. And it's okay. He needs to come back better. I don't know if he can even play as many games because it's pretty obvious that he has something going on. He needs to be low managed. But they need to figure out how they can build chemistry and go from here. Because look, Golden State's going to be back next year. They got a top 2 pick. And they got a $19 million trade exception. Mm-hmm. They got a mid-level trade exception. They're going to be back. And I feel like it's going to be Bron and the Lakers and the Warriors and the Western Conference Finals.
Easily it's gonna have to be Bron and it's gonna have to be the Lakers and the Warriors because the Warriors literally took a year of break and honestly, like think about it. What if Curry didn't get hurt? What if the whole Warriors squad was back? Like not necessarily with KD, but like Draymond, Steph, and Clay all back in the same. Like this season playing well. Like would the Clippers have even made it as far as they did? Like are they really the dog that they say they are? Because they like if you're gonna like I said earlier, if you're literally gonna talk all that mess, you literally have to show up. Like you can't do all that and not make it to the Western Conference Finals, bro. You can't even make it that far.
It's a humbling experience, man. I didn't have them coming out the second round. If they did, I said that they were gonna lose to the Lakers in 5. I said they had a Lou Will problem. I said that you cannot trust a man named Paul in the clutch. That man has 2 first names. One of my boys said that man has 2 first names, bro. Like, you cannot trust
what's the second?
Paul George. He has 2 first names, bro. That's funny. Hey,
that's looking funny. That's looking funny.
The Clippers, bro, they blew it. They blew it. They traded all their assets. I'll probably be married the next time they have a first round pick with a kid.
With a kid,
yeah.
But all I gotta say is like at this point in time, y'all. I mean, it's over. Like y'all can't really do nothing. It's over. So at this point in time, what they have to do is figure. Like, there's so much they have to figure out. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a locker room problem. And here's another problem that a lot of people don't try to point out. You can't have 2 stars. Like you literally cannot have 2 stars who are, what's it called? Like just calm and back in the room type stuff, doing the hype things. They're more quiet, more reserved. You can't really have those kind of stars. Like you need one of your stars to be outspoken. Kawhi is not. We know very well Kawhi's not outspoken. Paul George is not really outspoken either. The next outspoken person you have is Pat Beverly, who's not even consistent. Like you need look at LeBron. LeBron is literally a leader. The way he plays, the way he talks.
I don't know, bro.
Like, bro,
I don't know where to go, man. Look. Kawhi and Paul George have an opt-out after the next season. They have no draft capital, and no man is going to take a rental for Paul George and give you something feasible to win.
Dude, nobody's trying to take a car salesman.
I don't know, bro. I really don't know, where they go. I think they need to start getting rid of that Lou Will problem. Lou Will can go and help another team, a scrappy team. Montrezl Harrell, that man's clutch mafia. He's gonna go and look to get paid. This man, Rich Paul, is not gonna let that man leave any money on the table because after this playoffs, that man's money that he could probably be looking to see $100 million, he's probably gonna be lucky to get $15 million a year. So one team will get it to him. He'll probably be in Charlotte and we'll never hear about Montrezl Harrell again. You'll probably be making $17 million
money though,
playing for Charlotte or some team like that. But there's a formula to success, man. There's a formula.
Just like I said earlier, you literally cannot cheat. Like you can't cheat the system of the NBA. If you're gonna win NBA Finals, you literally have to do what you need to do to win the NBA Finals. You cannot try to stack up. Try to create something that doesn't really exist and try to get to the finals. It's not really gonna happen. Plus, yeah, Montrezl Harrell's gonna go get his money. Most likely. Paul George and Kawhi, I don't know what's gonna happen. Kawhi's most likely gonna stay in the Clippers. Probably Paul George should probably stay because if he leaves, he's gonna be playing overseas.
They need to figure out how they can get. They need to let Montrezl Harrell. I'll say they let Montrezl Harrell walk and try to keep Marcus Morris. You pretty much gave up too much just to rent him, and try to run it back. Figure out how you can. I don't know. You have nothing to trade for. I don't see you having anything someone wants in return for anything. Unless you're giving them to the Bob, you can't do that. Like, I don't know where y'all go from here. Y'all gave up y'all sold your soul for way off P and Kawhi Leonard Perkins.
My only two things I have to say is, and it's literally two teams.
Like it's 5.
It's literally only two teams. I'll start with the Houston Rockets. Go find yourself a big man, at least one, please, because y'all literally. I'm not gonna say y'all can't win a final, but it's gonna be very hard to get to the finals if y'all don't figure out what's going on. Y'all need a big man, and y'all need to go find a new coach. That's that. The Clippers, I don't know what y'all have going on because from the beginning of the season, it looked like y'all had everything going well. Y'all had the star, the second man. Y'all had a good defensive point guard. You had big, y'all had everything, so to say. Y'all just, I don't know what happened. I can't even tell you what happened. Y'all literally just faked. Y'all literally sold us. That's what happened. So y'all need to go figure that out. And the moment that people realize the NBA is not a system that you can just like walk through, then you can start winning a lot of games. You need your dogs. You need your actual dogs. When we say dog, like Dame is a dog, LeBron is a dog. People like that are dogs. Chris Paul's a dog because OKC should not be in the playoffs. Chris Paul's a dog. Those are the kind of dogs that you're talking about, not Pat Beverly. He's a puppy. What are you talking about? He's not making anything. Those are the two things y'all need to go figure out. Until that, I don't want to hear y'all's mouth for as long as it lasts.
We're not going to hear much. Look, I thought I was going to come on this podcast. To be honest, y'all, I thought I was going to come on this podcast and start rambling about the Clippers and all that.
Honestly,
I don't have the strength because I never believed in them. Why would I be happy about something that I didn't even think was going to happen in the first place? Like, it's not something like I was hoping, please let the Clippers lose so they won't play the Lakers. I never believed in them in the first place. They had too many holes, and Doc Rivers is an overrated coach. I'm sorry. This is what happened. If y'all wanted LeBron to lose, I'm sorry. It may happen, but LeBron's winning this finals. Everything's lining up for his 4th ring, AD's first. Next year, it's gonna be different, man. The Nuggets are gonna feel like they made the first step, man. They made the first step and qualifying for the Western Conference Finals. We'll see what happens from there. They can win. I think the Lakers will try to put them away in 4-5. What do you have for them, man? Like I think it's gonna be a 4 or 5 game series.
All right. So to close this out, Nuggets versus Lakers, the Western Conference Finals. What would you got?
4-5, bro. 4 games, 5 games. Sweep.
4 or 5 games.
Sweep or gentleman sweep.
With me, here's what I'm gonna say. Like I said, I always respect the Nuggets. I think they're a very young team. They're very talented. They have things going. My only thing is if the Nuggets don't like go into this Western Conference Finals with like a very serious approach, they'll probably get swept. Otherwise, I still got Lakers in 5 or 6. 6 max. Six if
that's
everyone can actually show up. But realistically 5. But no. 6 is not outrageous, but Lakers in 5. On the Eastern side though, who you got? Boston, Miami. You got Miami?
Look, that game 1 showed me something, bro. Miami, we're ahead of our schedule. I think we have a chance to make the finals. I had the Celtics coming out. I had a Lakers Celtics finals right when the bubble started. I still think that may be the case, but honestly, after watching game 1, Jason Tatum showed up, man. Jaylen Brown needs a little more touches. Marcus Smart's playing very well on both ends. To me, I think he's the best defender in the league. And he's very streaky right now. He's making at least 4 or 5 3-pointers a game. This is coming down to Kemba Walker, man. Kemba Walker needs to be better. Um, he needs to win that matchup against Dragic. He's not winning it. He needs to win that matchup against Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is playing. Tyler Hero almost had a triple double. If the Celtics want to come out, if Miami wants to come out, I feel like they're gonna need a little more scoring production. I don't think we were offensively sound yesterday, or on their game one. Um, Bam Adebayo, Bam Adebayo. He's
Adebayo.
great. That man looks like a generational defender.
Hey, that's my namesake, bro. He's gonna defend me. You know that?
Really?
That's my namesake.
That man looks like an elite, future defensive player of the year defender. That block on I thought Tatum was about to yam it on my boy, bro, but that was a great block, bro. That was probably one of the greatest playoff blocks I've seen.
Okay, look, I've heard enough. Yeah. Listen, I respect Bam. I respect Jimmy. I respect Tyler Hero. I respect Dragic. Everybody in the Heat. They're a great team. Celtics are gonna win. Celtics in 7. That's my prediction.
It's
Celtics are gonna make it
definitely a
out.
7-game series, bro.
Celtics in 7. Jason Tatum is he's like Jason Tatum is a very good basketball player.
He's the one, bro.
He's like the future of the NBA.
He's the one, bro. Like,
He's gonna help them get out.
He has an MVP in him. So.
Jaylen Brown is gonna show up. Give him more time. Give him more playing time. Jaylen Brown is gonna show up. Marcus Smart. I mean, he's playing incredible basketball. He's gonna do what he has to do. Kemba Walker, like you said, needs to do more. He's doing good, but he needs to do more.
He's not doing good. He's been pretty bad.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's doing bad. Like he's not doing what he needs to do. But he needs to learn how to facilitate.
They just need buckets from him, man. Like, I think the Boston, they've come to a place where, because if Kemba Walker was the best player on that team, they had no chance of making the finals.
Yeah.
Or winning it, rather. It's hard in this NBA, unless you're probably like Steph Curry, to win a finals if your point guard is your best player. An undersized guard like Kemba Walker's your best player. Jason Tatum's made that star leap, and he's the best player on that team. They just need Kemba to be a point guard, to be cardiac Kemba, and get some buckets. Goran Dragic was all over him. He was food on defense. Tyler Heroes busting him. They're legit playmaking and picking on him on defense. And he just needs to be better. I still like the Celtics' chances, but my boys, man, Miami, we got that mafia culture, bro.
Hey.
We got that mafia culture, man. We're the real dogs, bro. We're the real dogs of South Beach, man.
Hey,
we're the real dogs.
Focus on me. Listen, Celtics in 7. Celtics in 7. Celtics in 7. Jason Tatum is gonna ball out. Jaylen Brown is gonna show up. Marcus Smart is gonna show up. Kemba is gonna catch up. Boston in 7. Boston has they have such depth. They're gonna win. It's gonna be a tie matchup. It's not gonna be no landslide. But Boston in 7. That's all I got to say. Boston's coming out the East. It's gonna be the Lakers Boston finals. And if it's not, I'll take my L as of right now. Boston Lakers finals. That's my pick. But to end this podcast, we're gonna move away from basketball for a little bit, and just in football, rookie wise, what rookies do you think we should watch out for?
Chase Young's gonna be dominant on defense, especially under Ron Rivera. I like Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
You just see Marlon Mack, I think, just towards Achilles.
He's not a rookie though. Marlon Mack's not a rookie.
I know. I'm saying Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Marlon Mack just towards Achilles, so Jonathan Taylor's going to get a lot more touches for Indianapolis. I think Burrow's he's gonna improve.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Tua probably week 7, week 8.
Yeah.
I think Chase Young is gonna be the best rookie this year for sure.
Okay. That's fair enough. For me, I would say Chase Young is definitely gonna ball out. He's doing good already. Joe Burrow had for a rookie first game quarterback of a team that had a bad year. He did pretty solid. I think Joe Burrow is also going to do something. I didn't necessarily see Jeff Okuda this past week. I don't think I paid attention. But I think also he's like, I mean, it's only week 1. I think he's going to show out as well. Another rookie, the what's his name, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to show out. You saw him against Houston. That guy's talented. Like I thought it was just hype. He's talented. AJ Dillon could also show out if he gets enough playing time, but I don't know how realistic that would be this season. Another running back, rookie running back that I think would show out if he gets his time, but it's just kind of hard to do that, is Benjamin on the Cardinals. He came out of Arizona State. Watching that guy from high school all the way to now, he's a pretty talented back. Wily product. But the only thing with people like him is he's just gonna need to get his shine. Like he needs an opportunity, and he will do what he needs to do. I definitely think people like that are gonna show out this season. Also, I personally think if the Eagles wake up and give Jalen Hurts a couple of snaps, he's gonna show out as well. And I definitely think Tua is gonna show up. Tua is gonna start playing some football by mid. Appreciate y'all for watching episode 6. Y'all make sure to keep be on the lookout. We got more episodes coming on. Like, subscribe, comment. Appreciate my guy Chico for showing up. Appreciate you. Like I said, Lakers in 5. Celtics going to the finals. All right, I'll see y'all. Peace out.